When Activision went looking to select a team as dynamic and intense as the action-driven game they'd be designing, their search ended at 7 studios, the developer destined to bring the cosmic ray altered astronauts of the Fantastic Four to the PlayStation 2.
I'm a massive fan of Fantastic Four.
I'm actually a fan of the Fantastic Four.
We're a group of guys who make games. We love superheroes.
We literally danced around the office. We were so excited.
Figuring out what is going to be the most interesting, the best, the most exciting Fantastic Four game possible.
The next minute, I was on a flight to New York to shoot city pictures.
Feels like, as a company, this is a game that we were created to make.
As the film rockets into theaters this summer, enthusiastic fans will have the opportunity to go beyond the big screen and bring the quad of Marvel's most popular heroes into their homes.
I think one of the really interesting things about this group of superheroes compared to others is that they don't have secret identities. They actually are who they are. Everybody knows who they are, and you sort of go through the transformation process with them.
The cosmic rays have altered our DNA somehow.
This better be a hell of a bad dream.
DNA not recognized.
We follow the evolution of the Fantastic Four in how they get their powers, then onto how they use their powers against evil.
Ever dream of turning invisible, flying through the air, stretching your limbs into infinity, or smashing your enemies with a single devastating blow? Unlike most superhero games which focus on just one character, Fantastic Four puts the multifaceted abilities of all the main characters into your hands.
A lot of people actually really don't know who the Fantastic Four are. I wear my shirt around all the time because I'm really proud of the project and the property. I run into people and they say, yeah, there's the stretchy guy, yeah, and the fire guy. But really there's Ben Grimm, who's the big rock, the orange guy. He's really the tank of the group. Reed Richards, who a lot of people confuse me with, he is the leader of the group. He's the brains behind the organization. Sue Storm, who is actually Reed's girlfriend, she is the Invisible Girl originally. I think they probably changed it to the Invisible Woman to be a little bit more correct.
A woman's work is never done.
And then there's Johnny Storm, who also is known as Johnny Flame. Obviously, he's one of the most famous ones. They're not just a group of characters, but they're all interrelated. You know, we have Johnny and Sue, who are brother and sister.
Nice work back there.
Why do you sound so surprised?
Easy, sis. Just giving you props.
Reed and Sue, who have a relationship. Ben, who's sort of the outcast, but also has a kind of a crush on Sue.
Ben, it's Sue. Open the door.
No, you can't see me like this.
So they have this sort of dysfunctional family group as well as their superpowers that are also really interesting.
Every hero needs a villain to wreak some havoc, and while the game will be populated with a multitude of familiar faces, perhaps none are as iconic and frightening as the metallic visage of Dr. Victor Von Doom himself.
Reed, I want some answers. I expect to see you this evening at the museum.
The Fantastic Four has always emphasized teamwork, and here, the more you coordinate your attacks and work together, the more reward you get.
We actually shaped the levels to fit the character perfectly. So we have sections where you're Johnny only, and at certain times we would bring them together so that they can fight together as 2 or 3 or even 4 and have them defeat even bigger and bigger enemies.
One of my favorite things to do is buff up the other character. So as Johnny, you can actually put a ring of fire around Sue. You can actually call for a buddy buff. Say you're Ben, you're in trouble. You can call Sue and she can put a shield around you. Another aspect of teamwork that is really fun is the ability to use team combos. When you or AI character grapples a character, you actually can run up to him and you pull off a really cool move. We also reward the player by doing teamwork by giving them extra bonuses.
Just like their early comic book counterparts, the game characters need time to master their powers. This evolving character growth allowed the producers to faithfully recreate the Fantastic Four universe while rewarding players with a wide variety of power-ups.
You purchase upgrades, you purchase new moves, like to simulate the fact that they are getting used to their powers in the beginning of our game, and then by the end of the game, they are very used to the powers and just unleashing some devastating attacks on the enemy.
So you're never bored because you're always switching between characters, but you never get bored with any character because you're always saving up for that next cool upgrade, and it keeps it really exciting all the way up to the end.
A lot of the enjoyment in team games comes from playing with a friend, and Fantastic Four is no different. Utilizing a unique co-op mode designed specifically for team play, the game offers 2 players the ability to fight side by side, an experience different than the single-player game.
In our testing and in the focus testing, that's really been something that people have keyed on and have loved. It's so much fun to be Johnny and Ben together with your friend, and you can yell at each other and get mad and steal the points.
This is the part where you bump your buddy and tell him why'd they steal that kill, or why'd they pick up the power-up when they were at full health? And it's just, when you see people play it, it really captures the essence of sort of the dysfunction as well as the cooperative battle that the Fantastic Four go through.
A little help over here? Let me at him.
Yeah.
The teamwork on the screen is rooted directly in the teamwork behind the scenes, as Seven Studios pulled its group together to give the Fantastic Four the video game treatment it so richly deserves.
We have a great bunch of animators here and effects artists as well on this staff. They have gone to great lengths to recreate the four very different characters that are the Fantastic Four. We've got a guy that is on fire all the time, which means that we're running about, 30, maybe 40 particle systems on Johnny alone, just all the time.
Well, the first thing we wanted to do when we tried to create a realistic Johnny Flame was take one of our artists and light him on fire and have him run around. That didn't really work out too well. Just kidding. We actually talked to the movie people who were doing the effects for Johnny and learned some things from them. Actually, they looked at what we were doing and saw things that they liked as well.
Fire wants to expand. Fire wants to grow outside of its boundaries. Fire does not want to stay on a limb in the way that they do in a superhero kind of a world.
All I can say is that it was both a team effort of artists and programmers working together, which is really critical. When you get that teamwork, that's when you get the real beautiful results.
With over 40 years of source material to pull from, the developers have worked overtime in delivering an immersive experience for the fans of the comics and the film. Fantastic Four the game is the closest they can get without actually starring in the blockbuster movie themselves.
Well, there are a lot of hardcore fans of Fantastic Four out there, and this game will definitely appeal to them. One of my goals in Fantastic Four the game was to make it into a collector's item. Not only a game that lasts with the extra features, all the work, all the little touches. It's something that if somebody really loves Fantastic Four, they're going to want to have on their shelf because they're going to refer back to it and have that sort of a piece of history. Comic book history is one of the things we're trying to accomplish with this.
Everyone needs our protection on Yancey Street.
But who's gonna protect you, punk?